Welcome to our second video about writing your report. Now, in the last video, we covered the sections of your report, so how will you structure it? In this video, we're going to be talking about how do you write your introduction, how do you write your literature review, and then for the remainder of the report, how do you use paragraphing strategies to convey your key message. So, let's start off with introductions. Your introduction will need to include these three key ingredients. What is your research question? What are you trying to do? And why is this question interesting and important? Usually it makes sense to start off an introduction with a bit of background. What's the overall topic? And then to explain what's the rationale. So what is the research that has been done on this particular problem and what have people not been able to achieve that you are going to attempt to do in this report? And then provide your aim. So tell your reader what you're going to do. Now, when it comes to your literature review section, have a think about how you're going to structure it. You might like to group ideas together in terms of what are the studies that have been done most similarly, or what studies are unusual. So you could group ideas together. Don't simply go with the chronological structure unless it makes sense to raise why you're doing this particular question. So instead, think about what are the key ideas that the literature has tried to do. What are the key studies approaches, and how have they tried to solve this problem? What has and what hasn't worked. So in your literature review, start off with a bit of an overview of what are the studies trying to do in this field, and then narrow down to focus in more detail on 2 or 3 of the most relevant studies. So in those sections, do make sure that you make it clear why those studies are trying to tackle the problem in the way that they do, and why is it that you are going to take your particular approach. So the purpose of the literature review is to justify why you're doing this particular question. So you can think of it as having a short introduction overall for your report and then launching into your literature review. Now, when you're talking about the literature, you might like to use some common phrases to help you to categorize the information. So I've got some common phrases on the next few slides about what is known, what are the key studies, also phrases to illustrate what are the gaps or the problems that people have tried to address, and what are the implications of their research, and what are the needs for your own research. So do try and use those phrases that relate to literature reviews, and that will help to group the ideas together and make it clear why that literature is relevant to your particular study. Now, the structure also needs to be clear in your writing. So we're going to have a look at how to illustrate that in the next slide. So think about your topic sentences. And when you write your topic sentences, try and picture them as a roadmap for your whole report, so that if somebody was skimming over your report, they could see very clearly what the different sections are and why they're important. Now, topic sentences can include quite a lot of very important information. First of all, explain your reasons. Why are you looking at this particular topic in the paragraph? Also explain what you did. So when you're talking about your approach, your findings, tell us what you did and tell us what the outcome is. So tell your reader, what did you actually find before you launch into the details? So if you have topic sentences that have more data than explanation, try and switch them around. So think about your paragraphs as being one main idea per paragraph. Your topic sentence has to contain your key message. So why is that relevant to the overall report? Also, what's the main point of the paragraph? Then contain the evidence and the analysis that you do. Finally, have a linking sentence at the end which summarizes what overall did you find and why is that relevant to your key message. Common problems with paragraphs include being too long and being too short. When they're too long, it's usually because you've got multiple ideas in there, so try and split them up. When they're too short, it's often because they're linking sections. So see if those statements actually belong at the ends or the beginnings of other paragraphs. And use linking words to help you explain the connections between ideas. So linking words can do a few different things. They can add information, they can contrast ideas, they can express the similarity between ideas, they can add information, and so on. So As an example, here are some linking words within a paragraph. So you can see in this example how the author moves between therefore, this can be achieved, on the other hand. So use those linking words to show the connection between ideas. Otherwise your paragraphs get a little bit choppy or a little bit jumpy, and it's hard for your readers to figure out why are we reading this information. So as a reminder, you can come and see us about your writing and we can look over your work and give you feedback on it. Okay, thank you.